Hi everybody and welcome to our 1.1 support video. We're just going to go over a couple of the similar types of questions you're going to see on the worksheet here. I got Winnie and Clover with me in my lap, so apologies if there's any background noise. But taking a look at our two questions here, we're just going to kind of go through the basic framework like we use in our notes, and we're going to set these up so that you have a model for how to solve the basic questions that you're seeing here. So just a quick reminder for percents, whenever we see those, we're automatically going to know that our formula is part over whole equals percent over 100. So in the setup that we have here, we're trying to find what is the percent. So if we're setting this up, we don't know what our percent is. So it's x over 100. And what percent of 96 is 4? So our part is 4 and our whole is 96. So from here, following the steps from our notes, the first thing that we want to do is cross multiply. So in yellow, we'll multiply those two terms to get us 96x. And then in green, we can multiply 4 times 100, which should get us 400. So that's how we're going to set up the equation. Now remember, this is an equal sign. So one cross product is equal to the other one, so you want to be careful about that. And from here, it's just basic algebra solving. So you have 96 times x. The inverse operation is division. So we're going to divide by 96 on both sides. And now we can jump into calculator math. 400 divided by 96. So if you want to leave it as an improper fraction, that's okay. You can also punch it into the calculator, and we'll get a nice long repeating decimal, so we can just round this to 4.2. And that would be our answer. So what percent of 96 is 4? Well, 4 over 96 would give us approximately 4.2%. So that would be our final answer here, 4.2%. The key here is just remembering this framework from your notes. Part over whole equals percent over 100. All right, second type of question, the bottom half, we're going to see proportions. So proportions, oftentimes you're going to have different quantities, different units. And we want to set up a word problem, and we want to make sure we're being really careful with our units here. So my dog Clover, she's a little Jack Russell, and she howls anytime there's noise at the front door. So if she howls 7 different times, so that's 7 howls for every 4 Amazon deliveries. So if I expect 22 deliveries, we want to see how many times will she howl. So if we're taking a look at this, there's 2 things that are happening here. I'm getting packages from Amazon. I have an addiction. I can't stop. And the second thing that's happening is my dog is howling. She also cannot stop howling. It's just automatic for her. So if we are going to set up our proportion here, Clover here is talking about her, she's making noise. What we can do is we just want to keep the same units on the same side. So for our numerators, we can put howls, and for our denominators, we can put our Amazon deliveries in red. A nice Christmas theme here. So if we see 7 howls for every 4 deliveries, we can take a peek over at the other side and see that we have 22 deliveries coming in, and we don't know how many times she is going to howl. So from here, what we're going to do is the same steps as above, cross multiply and go from there. So first in yellow, we'll multiply 4 times x. And then now in blue, we can multiply the 7 howls times the 22 deliveries. So the 7 times the 22. And that should give us 154. So from here, we have our equation set up. Remember, that is an equal sign in the middle, so we're going to keep an equal sign with our cross products here, and we can move through and solve like we normally would. So 4 times x, the inverse operation of multiplying 4 times x would be dividing by 4. We can take our 154 and divide that by 4, and we'll get 38.5. Now with word problems, this is where we want to make sure that we're paying attention. So we're asking for how many times she howls. So okay, be like, okay, howls, but can she howl half of a time? It's like maybe she's in the middle of a, a good one, and then, Winnie just comes over and hits her or something, and she stops halfway. But normally we're not going to think about half howls. We'll have whole howls here, so we're going to want to round up. So you can say 39 howls is how often we can expect. And if my wife is working nights, she is probably not doing too much sleeping if Clover is expecting all these deliveries. So hopefully this setup helps. I tried to color code a little bit here. The biggest thing for proportions is just making sure that we are matching our units together. If you got questions, don't be afraid to ask. As always, thanks for watching, and jump right in.